Hello everyone, BlueJack287 here, and welcome to episode 1 of Planetbase. If you're not familiar with this game, it is a colony building game. It's kind of a survival colony building game, very similar to Banished, just on another planet. It's a lot of fun. I've played it a fair amount. I've actually been experimenting here in the last couple weeks, trying to figure out what the most efficient start is. So I have an idea. I have not tested yet on a good start, so I'm actually going to try this for the first time on this. So we're going to see how it goes. If it fails horribly, we'll be restarting, and this will be lost. So let's get going. So I'm just going to go ahead and start on the basic, the class 0. I do have the second one unlocked. I've not played this game a ton, obviously here, but ideally I'd like to get through all of these on different Let's Plays. But we're going to start with this one, even though I have gotten enough to where I've unlocked the second difficulty level. I still want to get this, since this is my first series back of making videos. I think I'm going to start simple. So I will go here. Now you can pick different spots to settle on, which I just roll it someplace and hit go, essentially is what I do. So let's do it here. And we'll take a second here to load. Alright, so we are about to settle our new planet. Looks like we do have a nice big open space. That's always nice. We do have some mountains or some hills close by, so we can use those for mining. That is always convenient. If you're not familiar with this, we are going to start with 7 colonists and 2 robots that will help us. And I'll kind of bring up once this little starting screen gets done, I'll pause it and bring up the information screen so we can kind of read through. In case you're not familiar with this game, I will just do a quick, brief rundown of different units and stuff like that. So I'll go through where are the bots? Okay, so I'll go through bots first. So we have a couple different ones available. Right now we have a carrier bot and we have a constructor bot. So carrier bots do exactly what they do. They move resources around. People will also do the work of bots, but people also have a lot of other jobs. So if you have a carrier bot to do all this shuffling around of resources to and from different pods, it is a little more efficient, because then your actual citizens can be doing other jobs that they have as well. So that's basically what the carrier bot is. They carry stuff around. The other one that we start with is a constructor bot, so that actually helps build and repair things. So when we start building our starting power, like our first solar panels, our wind turbines, our first our airlock and stuff like that, the constructor bots will do that. They will move, or I forget, I want to say they do, they will not carry other resources around. Yeah, right. So they'll carry any materials you are using to construct, say, a module. A constructor bot will carry that, but that's the only items actually they will carry. But they will go around and constructing. And again, your actual human citizens will construct things too, but again, your humans need to mine, they need to produce food, they need to process resources. And so if you have constructor bots to help take care of that job, it frees up your people a little bit so they can do other things. Alright, so let's actually back up a little bit and talk about, let's go to home. Specializations? Yeah, okay. So these are the different jobs that are different roles that your colonists will do. So a worker is kind of the grunt. So they will do mining. They eventually will get a processing plant built where we'll start producing metal and plastics and stuff like that. They will operate the instruments that can make that conversion, and also some of the more later game stuff. They'll operate radio consoles, and then they also will carry stuff around. So carry resources from your mine to your stockpile, or carry food from your biodome to the stockpile, or carry the food to your canteen. They're not as efficient as a carrier bot. They move slower, but they will do that job. Engineer. Okay, so engineers will build things, and they will build new modules. They will build, if you construct a bed, engineers can build that. They also can do repairs. So if your bots break down, which will and does happen, they'll do that fix as well. They will. So factory and robotics facility. So eventually we're going to have extra modules, which are these, the factory and the robotics facility, and the mechanical stuff you build in these modules. Engineers are the ones that operate that. They also operate the telescope console, which is again more of a later game thing. And same thing as workers, they can carry resources, but they're not as efficient as a carrier bot. So pretty much any human job will carry resources if they're not doing something actively associated with their actual specialty. Biologists, their main job is producing food, so operating these vegetable pads in the biodome. The main thing that does is it grows your food, and also grows starch, which you use to make plastics. They also will do some work in the lab. You can synthesize tissue. It's called like vitro meat. It's not something that I ever do. I always have plenty of food just off of the biodome, so I don't need to do that. I never really do this tissue synthesizer, but they will operate that if necessary. Same thing as before, they will carry. Medics will operate your sick bay, so your colonists are going to get hurt, they're going to get sick, and it's the medics that will help get them back to full health. The other thing is that you create medical supplies in this lab module, and it's the medics that will do that as well. And again, they will carry if necessary. Guards we will not have right away. We will, once our colony gets big enough, we'll start getting some guards that will kind of coming in. Once your colony gets big enough and is successful enough, you will have people try to invade you, and so guards will help fight them off, because you can make weapons and stuff like that. And they'll eventually will do that. You really do not need guards though for quite a while, so it'll be a while before we have any of those guys walking around. And then visitors, we eventually can have some what I'm thinking is some like tourists and stuff like that will come and visit, and intruders will, they'll come and get you too. So that's a basic rundown of the bots and the specializations of people, and I will kind of walk through some of the other things as we go along, because I want to get going here. I've already been talking for over 7 minutes. So, okay, so what is our starting requirements? So we need to get a basic base going, and we need to get power going. So the first thing we have to do is we need to have an airlock so that our citizens can actually get in and out of our new colony. So I'm just going to go ahead and plop that down. We are also, that's not what I wanted, we also need an oxygen production. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, and you actually can build different sizes of these. I just do the smaller size is good enough for us right now. Our colony is not big enough where it warrants putting more resources into something larger. So we'll go ahead and get that built. Now, this is basically going to be useless until I can actually get oxygen in them. So we're going to need a couple more things here. First thing, we're going to need a solar panel. So we need to start producing power. Now you have 3 different sizes of solar panels. The medium at the start is actually the most efficient from my experimenting, because we do actually have enough resources. I'll get those moved over. So modules require metal and plastic, so that's this bioplastic here. They'll require both. Power plants like this only require metal, so that's just something to keep track of. Now we have this solar panel where our guys are, you can see they are getting everything hauled over to what we've already set down to build. Now we also will need a power collector, basically like a giant battery, and again the medium size is the most efficient to start with, so we'll go to that. All modules had to be connected, so if you see I click on 2 modules and click this little chain link, that will make a little connection between them. Okay, so you can see things starting to take shape here. Our airlock is constructed, our oxygen our generator is constructed, and now they're connecting them with a little tunnel. Now you see it has this little red thing. We're not producing oxygen yet. We have a couple things we have to build. So we need the power. So we have the power. Next thing we need to do is we need a water extractor. And I think level 1 of the water extractor is good enough for now. But you need to have water to be able to produce oxygen in your actual facility. So I should have been, instead of talking, I should have been building this sooner, but it's fine. They'll get it done. So there's not a whole lot for us to do other than just watch them carry things over. So this little band, the battery essentially is ready to be constructed. We just have our constructor bot needs to get over here and do it. One thing I like to do is I like putting down a wind turbine early, because solar panels are good obviously during the day. They don't do anything for you at night. And occasionally you'll have a sandstorm come through and you cannot produce, your solar panels will not produce anything during those sandstorms. So it's nice to have a little backup wind turbine too. And again, I like to go into the middle option to start off because it's kind of the most efficient. Okay, so our modules are built, our power is built, and we are seeing this is how much stored energy we have. That is going up because we're actually not consuming any power right now. There we go. Okay, so our water extractor just got built. So now you can click on this, and this is the oxygen level. You can see that how that's starting to rise. So it'll max out at about 22%. So and you can see as it gets filled up with oxygen, it goes from red, it goes to yellow, and eventually it'll stop having color to it. One thing is you can actually minimize these, so you just click on this and it'll minimize those. Okay, so there it turned yellow. So there our oxygen level is now stable inside. So now we have our basics, we need to get more built. So really the first thing you want to do is build a canteen. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. This is a little bit tight, but I think we should be okay. So same thing with the canteen, you can do 2 different sizes. I go the larger size to start with and go from there. So get stuff slowly hauled over there, and here our wind turbine is built and is now connected. So we are producing, our power production is set now for the time being. We won't need anything more. Other things I like to do first, I like to get a mine going, and I actually took a little bit too long to get the mine up. Because you do use a lot of metal in the early going, and if you run out of metal, things really stall, and it takes a while for you to get that recovered. So I should have done this actually a lot sooner, but it'll be fine. We'll do that. So canteen is is the big thing we're constructing next. So that's where all our citizens go to eat. You can put water fountains in there. You can put screens in there so they can watch the screen and get themselves distracted from the fact that they're on this big barren colony with currently no beds. We'll get beds here shortly, don't worry. But it's kind of like a big hub. There's a lot of activity in the canteen, so that's always why I build that next. Now, other things that we will need to build after this canteen gets up, we will need to build beds. So we need to build a cabin, I believe that's what it is. A dorm, excuse me. The cabin is fancier, but so we'll do a dorm. I'll do the smaller dorm. There's 2 different sizes. The reason I'm not queuing this all up right now is because anytime you connect another module to existing modules, your oxygen level will drop, like guaranteed. So if you connect like 3 things at the same time, your oxygen goes down to basically nothing, and your citizens don't have anywhere safe to go for oxygen. So in the early going like this, it's usually best just to add like 1 thing and then wait for it to build, and then let the oxygen level raise up a little bit before you add something new. So we want to get the canteen built and connected, and let the oxygen level rise up. Then I'll build a dorm, the smaller of the dorms, and again let that get connected, let the oxygen level equalize. And then usually what I would typically do is I would build a storage. So that's where all of our excess resources get put. Right now, everything is being stored in our colony ship. But eventually, you want to have it all inside your base, and so we'll want to build a storage. And then what I usually did in the past is I would go straight into a biodome and get some basic food production first. Problem with that is that it delays your metal production to do that, because you need it to produce metals. You have to get this iron, or the mine has to is it ore? I believe it has to get ore out of the ground, and then you need a production plant, which is here. You need to have one of those built, and then you need to have a metal, build an instrument inside of it that will build metal. But if you build a biodome first, that delays your metal production, and you need a lot of metal. Like if we start having power problems, we're not producing enough energy, we need to have enough metal where we can slap down another solar panel or another battery or another wind turbine. And if you have delayed metal production, that is a huge problem. So okay, our canteen is now built. So as you can see, I see how everything turned red here. That's because the oxygen level dropped since we opened up new space, and it takes some time for that to equalize. So here it's kind of leveling off, and then now it's going to start raising. Any day now. Come on, there we go. So now it's starting to raise up. So once it starts raising up, that's when I get the go ahead, or kind of have the queue where I can put something else down. So I'm going to get a dorm built next. Get that connected, and then in the meantime, I am going to put down well, here, I'll back up just in case you're not familiar with this game. So if anytime you want to build something inside a module, you first click on the module, and then you click on this. It's like a little edit contents of the structure. So you click on that, you go into inside the facility. So there's a couple of things. I don't want to build too much in here because I want more of the focus to adding new modules. But to get things started, I am going to build a couple of things. One, I'm going to put it down a table, so they have somewhere to sit and eat their food. And if you heard that rumble, there was a meteor impact fairly close by, but it did not hit us because there aren't sirens going off. So yeah, we gotta watch out for falling objects in this game. So it's a table, and it requires plastic, about 2 bioplastic to build a table of that size. I also want to do a meal maker. Well, do I want to do a meal maker? I actually don't think I do. I'm going to hold off on that because we're not producing food quite yet. But we do need to have a drinking fountain because our citizens need water. And I also put down a video screen because that increases happiness a little bit. So I like to put those 3 things down first. I would put down this meal maker, but we're not producing vegetables yet. We don't have a biodome. And so I do not believe they'll put already made meals into the meal maker. They'll put them into like a storage facility instead. So okay, so like if you back out here, go over here. They are sitting here eating their meals because they don't have a place to sit yet. So we're gonna fix that for them. All right, so we need 2 more metal. Okay, so yeah, you can see they're carrying meals in because they don't have a spot to sit and eat. So we'll get that fixed for them though soon. Okay, so yep, our dorm is. Everything's being hauled over. Once these 2 pieces of metal get over here, they will start building there. But we need some more things here. And I'm going to go ahead and put down a storage facility. Yes, we don't have this connected yet, so our oxygen has not equalized, but it'll take some time for them to get all hauled over here. I think we're going to want to spread in through here. Or do we want to go... I don't think we can build through there. So we have to come through here. And then kind of spread over to here, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to build the storage coming this way off the canteen, I believe. I'll go right here. I'll get that connected. Alright, so he should be coming over here. Oh, he's going to the mine. Okay, where's our constructor bot? He might be coming out right now. Okay, so here you can see they're hauling on these pieces of plastic to construct the internal stuff, which I wish he was. I kind of wish he was hauling that in here so we can get this stuff built, but I think he's in the airlock, huh? Constructor, right? You're a constructor bot. No, you're the carrier bot. Never mind. You're the constructor. Okay, so constructor is going to come out. He will build the dorm for them, I believe. He better. If he goes and picks up the swing and starts hauling, I'm going to be upset. Okay, so you can see how they're getting, all of our citizens are starting to get thirsty, so we need to get this built. Kind of bad. Drinking fountain. Let's cancel. Let's delete. Let's disable. Yeah, I don't know. They just need to come and get that constructed. I don't know. I kind of wish they would have done that first. But okay, so here's our dorm going up. So we can see our constructor bot is getting that all up and going. And then whenever they build something like this, then they'll go and they'll build the connection next. So that will go up next. I wish these people were not walking through that because they... Oh, I guess that works, I guess. That's fine, nothing to see here. Okay, so our dorm is now built. Now again, you can see the oxygen levels dropping, but once the structure starts getting... The bigger the structure gets, the less you notice this little dip in oxygen when you add the new module. It's just usually something that's a problem right off the bat. I like building 2 bunks off the bat, so our citizens we only have 7 colonists right now, so having 2 beds is more than enough to accommodate them for now. Okay, so are you going to... Yeah, he's going to the drinking fountain. Okay, yeah, we need to get that built because everyone is thirsty. Get your ass over here and build that, please. Kind of wish he had built that actually before the dorm, but it's fine. There we go. Okay, so now I got a drinking fountain, so all of our citizens are now going to come in and they're going to bum rush that. Pretty damn hard. Okay, so yeah, things are a little bit slow at the moment, but that's okay. We are alive. That's important. So other things that show that I'll kind of run over a couple more things here as long as we have some downtime. So this kind of is a counting of the time, so it shows you how many days an hour, how many days you've been here, and then what hour of the day it is, or So we're obviously in the daytime right now. This also gives a readout of wind, so you can see the wind is dropping. But even though the wind is dropping, we're okay. We have this nice big large solar plant to cover us for the time being. Okay, so the last pieces, last components of this are on their way. So we'll get that built. Now we do have one bunk bed already constructed, so we have some people that are already up and they're sleeping, which is good. Sir, why aren't you taking a drink of water? Go get a drink of water, buddy. You're thirsty. Yeah, once the AI is actually operates pretty well of your colonists. They actually will take care of their needs. That's not usually a problem. Okay, so he's constructing the second bed. So now our dorm is basically set for the time being. We don't have to worry about this for a while. Okay, so the constructor bot is over here, and he's going to start building the storage. So I'm going to go ahead and start laying down the processing plant, because that is obviously going to be very important. And again, I like to do the medium. I'll go right here. And I'm doing this specifically because we need to get built over here, because I kind of built in the wrong direction. I should have built, try to been spreading this way instead, but I guess this is more interesting. We're just going to have a long start to it. Oh yeah, so once you have a storage module built, it'll tell you to recycle your colony ship. So all you do is you click on your little colony ship and hit the recycle button. Now, if you look at my resources up here, so metal and bioplastic, those are going to go up. So the spaceship actually has a good chunk of metal and bioplastic as components of the actual ship itself. So once you recycle that, you get a nice little bump in those resources. So we got our storage facility built, and again, you can see how the oxygen level dropped a little bit. Now, since I am building kind of a long structure, kind of away from the oxygen generator, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. So I won't be able to do that right away. I'm going to need another oxygen generator somewhere in here, because otherwise it's so far away from the oxygen generator, the oxygen level will be lower here. That's just one thing that will be an issue. But I'll probably need another airlock over here too, so that will be a fine spot to put another generator. This generator produces enough oxygen for 20 people, and so right now we are only at 7. Speaking of which, we need more colonists, right? That would obviously make things go a lot better. So what we need is a landing pad, and this will allow other ships to come visit us. So it costs 4 metal for the pad and then 1 for the connector. So once we get that built, we will be able to get colony ships. So more people will come. So more colonists will come. It'll be slow at first. We might get 1 or 2, and as we get more, as our colony thrives, we will get larger kind of waves. It's kind of like the same thing in Dwarf Fortress where you get those migrant waves. It's kind of a similar deal. The other thing is that traders will be able to come. So if we are low on metal, we can potentially trade for more metal. Or if we're low on parts, or want to get another bot, you can trade for that stuff. I tend not to do a whole lot of trading, especially here in the early going, because everything you have, you need it. So because it's going to be a while before we can start building parts to repair robots, and it's going to be a while before we can start producing medical supplies. It's going to be a while before we can do that stuff. So and these are really the only things of value that you can really trade. Like, you cannot trade metal because you need all your metal. You need all your bioplastic to build stuff. So you just can't trade those things away. And these are very valuable resources at the start. So I do not I will trade like 1 or 2 of them away if I have to. I just prefer not to. So I like to try and keep on those. So I don't do a whole lot of trading in the early going. I prefer to kind of build our own self-sufficient colony. It is taking a long time for them to get stuff hauled over here, which is unfortunate, but it's just because I did not plan this out very well. I really should have I could have had that nice sprawling colony out here. I don't know what I was thinking. I could... I might be stuck here. I think you can build a separate structure, though. No, I can't. Once you start, you can't build. I did not plan this out very well. So, look at this. My first series back, I already made a huge mistake. That's just the pits, isn't it? It's fine. Why would you want to build a colony in a nice open space? Wouldn't you rather in this nice narrow canyon where you're going to be protected from the elements? Yeah, we're just going to use that as reasoning, I think. Alright, well. Sorry, I had high encoding there for a second, but we're back to good here. So, alright, everything got hold over here, so our constructor bot he is going to the airlock. Sir, why are you going to the airlock? I'm confused. You should not be going to the airlock, you should be going to construct those things. I wonder if it's because he's in poor condition, maybe? I don't know. Ugh, it's whatever. Okay, well, we need to get food production going, so I'm going to go ahead and place a biodome. So again, I'm going to go to the medium size. I'm going to connect that to our storage facility directly, so we can actually get stuff hauled over there. Actually, no, I don't want to do that, do I? I'd rather focus everything on... I need to get this module up. I need to get a metal processor going in there. I think I need to prioritize that first. Because we do have 17 meals, we have 7 people, so that's going to last a little while. I think we'll be okay. This is the different start that I'm trying. I'm delaying the biodome going up in place of getting metal production up first, because that's the huge hitch. Oh shit, that thing just broke down. Ah, damn it. Okay. Okay, well then. That is a huge issue. So our constructor bot just broke down in the process of building that thing. Shit. I'm kind of hoping one of our... Going to get meal. What are you doing? Carrying medical supplies to the airlock. So he's just hauling stuff into our storage. Medic. Engineer. It's our worker, right? Okay, so you. Oh, he's going to get medical supplies. Whew, Jesus. Okay. Okay, so we have a worker that's sleeping. I wonder if he will come out and finish this construction. God, we need that up so hard. Oh, and look at our meals just dropped really bad. Oh, man. I have not had a robot break down this early before. This actually could be... It could be really bad. We'll... I guess we'll see how it goes. Ugh. Are you... What are you... Woo! That was close. Alright, so that was a meteor impact very close to us. Alright, so this guy's coming out to finish building this. That's good. Ugh. Yeah, this is kind of a rough start. So that's the problem. When I usually play this on my own, I usually have it nice and planned out, but when I'm making a video, I'm trying to do commentary, so... my mind is kind of split on two things. Yes, please get this built. Please, for the love of God. I don't suppose any of you are getting parts. Carrying spares to airlock. I think you're just hauling them in. You're not taking them to fix this. Okay, so that is up. Okay. So, let's do this. So I'm going to go in here and get a metal processor built right away. We desperately need that stuff. And we desperately need a biodome. So I'm going to get that queued up here too. And we have not had any ships come visit us yet. So you can see our resources are starting to get a little bit low here. Our meals are also getting a little uncomfortable. But that is okay for now. We also have all these things out here which are not being hauled in yet. Now when things are outside, the quality of them slowly will degrade. It's very slow though, so if it's not game breaking in any way, shape, or form, if it takes a while to get those hauled in, it's just something to be aware of. So if any... crap, and now our carrier bot just broke down too. Jeez. Okay, well they got our constructor bot fixed. That's good. And you are carrying metal to the biodome. Yep, so they're carrying stuff over here. So this is going to take up 5 metal, and it's going to take up 1 metal. So we only have 2 metal left over, and 1 is going to go into here. So actually we're only going to have 1 metal left over once this gets built too. So I'll actually have the option. Yeah, we're not going to have enough metal to add power supply for now, but that should be plenty stable. Like it's like only midday, and we have full battery storage already, so we are totally fine in the power department right now. So last bit of metal, I'll probably build another metal production. I think I'm just going to go ahead and queue that up. Let's do both. We're going to need both. And we should start getting colony ships here before too long. But yeah, we desperately need the stuff built. Yeah, once we get the biodome put up, we don't need to add new modules for the time being. We will need to add a sick bay eventually. Not necessarily a priority. We'll want it soonish though. The other thing I like building somewhat soon, so where is the sick bay here? Sick bay. That's cheap. It's only including the connect. You only need a smaller size sick bay at the start. So it'll take 2 metal, 2 plastic to build that. We just don't have the resources actively right now. It's gonna be a while. Other thing that is good to build somewhat soon is this control center. Because we are on a foreign planet, there will be sandstorms and there will be solar flares. And our citizens are not quite smart enough to come in on their own. So what you do is you build this control center. It has multiple functions. This is the only really true early game function it has, is that you can set either yellow alert or red alert, and all of your citizens will ditch whatever they're doing outside and go inside during the whatever weather event is going on, whether it be a solar flare or a sandstorm of some kind. So that's really the only reason to have a control center somewhat soonish, and that's why I kind of like that. It does have other functions, but those are a little more late game. Okay, hey, we got our first ship here. We got a colonist ship. How many do we get? We started with 7. I'm just gonna check to see how we're doing here while we're waiting for that to kick in. So we got almost everything hauled over. Expansion reached. Oh wait, we got 2 colonists. All right, we got an engineer and we got a biologist. Excellent. I will take them. The biologist we're not using quite yet, but soon, very, very soon. Okay, so we got this metal processor built, so we can actually start producing more metal, which is excellent. And this is actually ready to be constructed. All the stuff has been hauled over, so that should be built next. So actually looking at here, it is actually 32 minutes in, so I'm actually going to hit pause. And this is a good spot. I'm going to try and keep these to 30-ish minute episodes. So, alright, well there is episode 1. We are off to an okay start. Not great, could be better. But yeah, so next episode we need to get that biodome constructed, and then we need to start filling these modules that we've made. So the big priorities are getting vegetable pads built so we can start producing food, and then the other one is getting more built into that processing plant so we can start producing more metal, more plastic, and then we need to build some meal makers and stuff like that. And then once we get that stuff kind of built in and we can get our metal and plastic production kind of up and off the ground, then we can start looking at expanding into more modules. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this first episode. As always, please comment below, hit that like button, or if you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. There will be more of this coming out soon, and I'm really excited to be back. This felt good. This felt really good. So I will see you guys soon. Bye.